Afternoon, Year 6. Mr. Langstaff here. I'm going to reading Skellig, chapters 25 through to 27. So sit back, relax, get some snacks, get under a nice little blanket, and enjoy the rest of the story. Chapter 25. The wires and the tubes were in her again. The glass case was shut. She didn't move. She was wrapped all in white. Her hair was fluffy, dead straight and dark. Oh, I really wanted to touch it, and to touch her skin, feel it soft against my fingertips. Her little hands were clenched tight on the other side of her head. We said nothing. I listened to the drone of the city outside, to the clatter of the hospital. I heard my own breathing, the scared, quick breathing of my parents at my side. I heard them sniffing back their tears. I went on listening. I listened through all these noises until I heard the baby. The gentle squeaking of her breath, tiny and distant, as if it came from a different world. I closed my eyes and went on listening and listening. I listened deeper until I believed I heard her beating heart. I told myself that if I listened hard enough, her breathing and the beating of her heart would never be able to stop. Dad held my hand as we walked through the corridors towards the car park. We passed a lift shaft and the woman with the Zimmer frame from upstairs tottered out. She gasped and rested on her frame and grinned at me. "Oh, 3 times round every landing and 3 times up and down the lift as well. Cuh!" she said, knackered, absolutely knackered. Dad blinked and nodded kindly at her. "Blinking getting there," she said. She bobbed outside the frame. "Be dancing soon, you'll see." She patted my arm with her crooked hand. You're so sad today. Been to see that friend of yours, have you?" I nodded and smiled. "I'm going home soon. He will too. Keep moving, that's the thing. Stay cheerful." She hobbled away, singing the Lord of the Dance to herself again. "Who did she mean, your friend?" said Dad. Nobody. He was too distracted to ask again. In the car, I saw the tears running down his face. I closed my eyes, and I remembered the sound of the baby breathing, her heart beating. I held them in my mind, went on listening to them again. I touched my heart and felt the baby's heart beating beside my own. Traffic roared past. Dad sniffed back his tears. I stayed dead silent, and I concentrated on keeping the baby safe. "There it is," said Mina. "Archaeopteryx, the dinosaur that flew." She laid the heavy encyclopedia on the grass beneath the tree. We looked down at the clumsy creature. It was perched on a thorny branch, and beyond it, volcanoes belched flames and smoke. The great land-bound creatures, Diplodocus, Stegosaurus, lurched across a stony plain. "We believe that dinosaurs became extinct," said Mina, "but there's another theory, that their descendants are with us still. They nest in our trees and our attics. The air is filled with their songs." And do you know what, Year 6, in our science, I wonder if you can think about which species of animals that Mina's referring to here. What species of animals has similarities with dinosaurs? The little Archaeopteryx survived and began the line of evolution that led to birds. She touched the short, stunted wings. Wings and feathers, see? But the creature was heavy, bony thing. Look at the clumsy laden tail. It was capable of nothing but short, sudden flights. From tree to tree, stone to stone. It couldn't rise and spiral and dance and sing like birds can now. No pneumatization. I looked at her. "Do you remember nothing?" she said. Pneumatisation, the presence of air cavities in the bones of birds. It is this which allows them to free flight. The blackbird flew from the tree above us and dashed into the sky. If you held the Archipatrix, she said, it would be almost as heavy as stone in your hand. It would be almost as heavy as the clay models that I make. I looked into Mina's dark eyes. They were wide open, expectant. Like she wanted me to see something or say something. I thought of the baby in my lap, of Skellig slung between Mina and me. I thought of his wings and of the baby's fluttering heart. There's no end to evolution, said Mina. She shuffled closer to me. We have to be ready to move forward, she said. Maybe this is not how we're meant to be forever. And she took my hand. We are extraordinary, she whispered. She looked deep into me. Skellig, she whispered. Skellig! Skellig! I stared back. I didn't blink. It was like she was calling Skellig out from somewhere deep inside me. It was like we were looking into the place where each other's dreams came from. And then there was sniggering and giggling. We looked up and there were Leaky and Coot standing on the other side of the wall, looking down at us. What's wrong with you? They kept asking. What's bloody wrong with you? I was hopeless. I couldn't tackle. I missed the ball by a mile, and when I jumped up to head it, and when I had the ball at my feet, I stumbled all over the place. I fell over it once and skinned my elbow on the curb. I felt dead shaky and wobbly, and I didn't want to be doing this, playing football in our front street with Leaky and Coot, while Mina sat there in the tree with a book in her lap and stared and stared. Oh, it's 'cause he's been ill, said Leaky. Bollocks, said Coot. He's not been ill. He's just been upset. He watched me trying to flick the ball up onto my head. It bounced off my knee and bobbed into the gutter. Oh, I'm just out of practice, I said. Oh, rubbish, he said. It's just been a week since you couldn't beat anybody in the school. Sorry, it's just been a week since you could beat anybody in the school. That's right, said Leaky. It's her, said Coot. Her in the tree, that lass he was with. Leaky grinned. That's right, he said. I shook my head. Oh, bollocks, I whispered. My voice was as shaky as my feet had been, and they stood there sniggering. It's that lass, said Leaky. That lass that climbs in a tree like a monkey, said Coot. Her that sits in a tree like a crow. Bollocks, I said. I looked Leaky in the eye. He'd been my best friend for years, and I couldn't believe he'd go on with this if I looked him in the eye and wanted him to stop. And he grinned. He holds hands with her, he said. She says he's extraordinary, said Coot. Oh, get stuffed, I said. I turned away from them, went past our house to the end of the street, turned down towards the back lane, and I heard them coming after me. I sat down in the lane with my back against the boarded up garage. I just wanted them to go away. I wanted them to stay. I wanted to be able to play like I used to. I wanted things to be just the way they used to be. Leaky crouched beside me, and I could feel that he was sorry. The baby's ill, I said. Really ill. The doctor says I'm distressed. Yeah? He said. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Coot kicked the ball back and forward against the boards. Don't do that, I said. You'll knock it down. He sniggered. Oh, aye? He went on doing it. Don't do it, I said. I got up and I grabbed him by the scruff of the neck. Stop doing it, I said, and he sniggered again. Doing what, Michael? He said in a high, girlish voice. I shoved him back against the garage. I thumped my hand against the board beside his head, and he winked at Leaky. See what I mean? I thumped the boards beside his head again. There was a loud crack. and the whole garage trembled. Coot jumped away, and we stared at the boards. "Oh, bloody hell," said Leaky. There was another crack, and another shudder, and then silence. I opened the gate into the wilderness, and we tiptoed inside. We stared through the door and into the gloomy garage. Dust was falling thicker than ever through the light. And there was another crack. "Oh, bloody hell," said Coot. "I'd better get my dad," I said. There we are, guys. Hope you've enjoyed that one, and I'll see you all soon.